Hey, welcome to 209coach.com. I want to do a video for you today with Bryce Harper. It's from a different angle here to give you an idea of what I want you to do. Now, I think that most players out there have the potential to really hit with a lot more power than they're hitting with. A lot of players out there are not utilizing their bodies correctly, their lower body, their upper body. So I hope this video right here will help you to literally use your body in a way that you've never used it before. I really think it's going to help you. Now, I drew a line right here in front of Bryce Harper's helmet, and I drew it down straight line, and because I'm an advocate of staying back and not lunging, and hopefully this video right here will kind of like verify or confirm that players that really know how to hit, they really don't lunge, they stay back. Now, in order to get more power in your swing, and if you watch my videos, I talk about this all the time. Now, I just want you to focus on Bryce Harper's back pocket. Watch what he's doing right here. Notice how the back pocket starts to really coil. In other words, as he lifts his front leg, he's getting that back pocket to really coil towards the pitcher. Now, this is tremendous coil right here. Most players that I work with in person never even get close to even executing this unless you train them how to do it, unless you teach them or even tell them that they should be doing this. A lot of young players, a lot of coaches don't even teach this, okay? When I work with students, so many of the students that I work with, I said, have any of your coaches ever told you to coil your lower body to get that back pocket to work towards the pitcher? And most of them by far say never. Okay, so this is one of the reasons I'm doing this video, because just in case your coach has never asked you to do this, now Bryce Harper does it, and if you watch slow motion videos of any top MLB hitter, most of them by far apply this, and there's a reason for it. It gives you tremendous power. Now, if you pay attention right now to his belt, okay, imagine if you could see his belt buckle, all right? Watch where it's pointing. It's pointing direct opposite side batter's box view. As he starts to get into his toe touch, you can see here, it'd be very obvious right now as he gets into his toe touch that his belt buckle now is pointing more in this direction. In other words, in the direction of the catcher. His back pocket is working in this direction. In other words, in the direction of the pitcher. This is crucial if you want to start utilizing your body in a more effective manner, if you want to start having more power in your swing. Now, the best way to do this, if you want to do this, I would highly recommend for you to pretty much start with 100% of your weight on your back leg. Now, Bryce Harper isn't really starting that way, but this, I'm telling you, if you start that way, you might as well start with the weight on your back leg, because that is where it's going to end up. Watch Bryce Harper. Where's the weight? If you go down a straight line right here, what's going on with his body, you can see here, it's very obvious that the most of the weight is on his back leg, if not 100%. So why not start there? That's why I have my students start there. You're eliminating an extra move, okay? So if you start on your back leg and you lift, as you lift your front leg, immediately start coiling that back pocket towards the pitcher, okay? Immediately. Try to get your front leg to hover. The longer your front leg can kind of hover, the easier it is for you to execute this back pocket towards the pitcher. Really work on coiling the back hip, the back leg. This will give you lower body power, lower body coil in a way that you've probably never had before. Therefore, you will be able to start developing the ability to use your body correctly, therefore execute more power in your swing. Now, once you kind of master this move of the back pocket working again towards the pitcher, and your belt buckle facing towards the catcher, I want you now to start executing this move where you have a vertical bat at the apex of the gather. And once you start moving forward, watch Bryce Harper, how the back elbow works up, back, and behind him. Up, back, and behind him. As he gets to toe touch, you can see here, and you can do this in front of a mirror, you should have a shoulder to elbow look. You should have your back pocket, again, feeling like it's working towards the pitcher, okay? This right here, these two moves of the lower body, back leg, hip coil, with a top hand pullback where your back elbow works up, back, and behind you will put you in a position where once you get into the hip thrust, into the torso tilt, which I'll show you right now, it will give you so much power, so much explosion, so much quickness where you'll be able to start hitting against pitchers that throw a lot faster than you've ever hit before. And the reason why is because your body is going to be fully loaded like a rubber band. It'll be ready to explode as you get into your toe touch, okay? Not heel plant. You'll be able to thrust the hips. You'll be able to just utilize that upper body and lower body coil in a way so that when you get into that hip thrust, into that hip coil, torso tilt, your bat will just literally explode or snap behind you, shallow behind you. This move right here is what the best players in the world do. Now, again, this is a process, so I would really just work on this in front of a mirror very slowly. Feel that back pocket truly just really coiling and just stop at toe touch. Now, when you stop at toe touch, notice how his head and his body is pretty much still behind that line. This is where he started. Watch where he is at toe touch, and as he gets into that hip thrust, the helmet is still right there where he was when he started, okay? In other words, his head is not like you see at more lower level players where his head is one or two heads in front of that yellow line. This is what the best players in the world do. So when you're doing this in front of the mirror, I would suggest for you to put a piece of tape in front of the mirror, get that lower body, that hip to coil, get that upper body to coil like this. If you're working with your child, have them stop at toe touch. The checkpoint would be is the belt buckle pointing towards the catcher. You would see if you would have a shoulder to elbow look. In other words, you don't want shoulder to shoulder and his back elbow being dropped down here somewhere like this. Okay, you don't want that. That shows that you're getting a power leak. This is why a lot of young players are unable to hit with a lot of power. They're leaking their load prematurely. You don't want to leak your load. The way you don't leak your load is you maintain the pullback. Notice how as he gets into his heel plant or hip thrust right here, right now he's at heel plant or his hip thrust, okay? As he's starting to get into the torso tilt, you can see even at this stage of the swing, his back elbow is still pretty high. This can only happen if you maintain the pullback. You cannot create these angles unless you are pulling back with the top hand and maintaining the pullback. Now, again, this is a process, guys. If you're a dad or a mom working with your child, softball or baseball, again, I would truly just work on staying on that back leg, the back hip. Once you lift that front leg, let that back pocket work towards the pitcher. Really get that hip coil, get that back leg to be coiled. It's almost like you're feeling like everything is like a spiral effect working all the way up your back leg, your back hip, up your torso. Everything should be kind of like working in an upward kind of a spiral manner where you're creating all this really kind of a rubber band effect on your back of your body, your back hip, your back leg, up by your scap. Everything should feel fully loaded as you get into the stage right here. That way, as you get into your toe touch, you're fully loaded. All you have to do is that torso tilt. All you have to do is that hip thrust. And then with, again, all this is loaded. It's just a cause and effect of maintaining the pullback with the hip thrust and everything. The bat speed is behind you and you can explode through the ball. Now, again, this is a process, but again, it's crucial that you get that hip coil, that you get that back pocket to really coil like Bryce Harper. Again, get that back elbow to work up, back, and behind you. Look at this. This is amazing, that back elbow. You rarely ever see this in younger players. And again, maintain it. Watch how the elbow stays up and back as he gets into that hip thrust or heel plant. It's not dropping until far more into his swing. And even at this stage of the swing right here where he's really gotten pretty deep into his swing, you can see that his elbow has not really slotted too much, okay? It has slotted spotted because that's natural. But at this right now where his elbow is literally where you see people at this stage of the swing right here at toe touch, okay? This is why you see so many young players or young ladies who don't have power. They leak their load. You don't want to leak your load. You want to keep this tension, this resistance, okay? I hope you like this video. Give me a like and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, everyone.